Hey guys, what's happening? No, I did not quit trading. No, I did not blow up my accounts. And no, I'm not going back teaching full time. I had it's crazy. If I miss a couple days, all of the rumors start to swirl. Is but none of that stuff is true. There is a class that I teach, or a course, a section of a course that I teach for individuals who are leaving industry and going into the classroom to teach high school. Now, in the state of South Carolina, in order to teach in public high school, you must have a teaching license. Well, if you've been working in the industry for a while, you're not going to go back to college for 2 years to get a teaching degree. You're not going to do that. That's not economically feasible for you. And we need these professionals in the classroom to teach our students. And so the state has this program that allows teachers to take these classes and get all this information on weekends and during the summer. So I teach one of those sections, and most of the time I'm doing it on the weekends, on Saturdays. But I need to maintain my license in order to teach this class. So I needed to teach this section so that I could be observed, which is a part of what I have to do because I'm not in the classroom full time. And in order to keep my teaching license, I have to do different things. So that's all that was. That's where I was Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There was nothing wrong with the last 2 weeks. Those are historically the slowest and the worst weeks in the year. I'm always on vacation the first week of July. Just so happens that all of this stuff that came up kind of, I guess from March on, was just like one little vacation, one mini vacation, one mini vacation. And so we just didn't take one big vacation this year. We still have one beach trip coming up that's going to be like from Thursday on, but everything's just been broken up into segments. So I ended up being here the July 4th week and was able to squeak out some money on Friday, of all things. Then last week, it just wasn't there. So last week I ended red. I'm not sure exactly by how much. I can't remember, but I'll share that with you when I recap this week, and then you'll see where we are for the month. But we'll do that this weekend. Doesn't make sense to do it now and then 2 days later do the same thing again. But as part of that, and one of the coolest things that happened was one of my former students, a guy that I taught in high school, was in this class. And for you to know that you touched someone or that you impacted someone so much that they are practically following in your footsteps. I mean, that was a very, emotional and fun time for me. These 3 days were just great. So I am so glad that I had this opportunity and that everything worked out that way. But guys, I am back. I am trading. Always going to be a full-time trader. I'm never not going to be a full-time trader. It's just, I'm not going backwards. I don't care. I'm not. So I'm here to stay. Now this message right here, it kind of came from me teaching. There's a lot of things that came up while I was teaching, and I wrote them down real quick that I could share in trading. And this was one. The key to success is to focus on your goals, not your obstacles. And the way it came from teaching was, as a teacher, if we let all of these obstacles stop us from delivering the lesson that we have for that day, it'll never get delivered, and the students will not learn. So in teaching, we have to keep our focus on what we want to deliver to the students that day. What do we want them to leave with? And so the obstacles we'll face will be the students themselves. It could be the environment that we're in. It could be the lack of equipment that we need to teach. And it could be us. We may be an obstacle because we don't have everything that we need to deliver that lesson. So in trading, I related it to our goal is to be a consistently profitable day trader. And we lose focus of that goal. That goal tends to get further and further away as we hit losing trade after losing trade after losing trade, losing week, a red week after red week after red week, and we start to not be able to see that goal. That vision that we had seems to have disappeared in the clouds of red trades. And we cannot let that happen. If we truly want this, and I try to show you every day that it is possible, that all you have to do, and even when you're not 100% disciplined, that you, as long as you stay focused and you go back to your foundation, you can work your way out of it. But the key is you got to have a foundation first, something that you're going to go to. So you always want to keep your focus on your goal, that vision that you have. But then you want to focus on it when things start to get cloudy. You want to focus on your foundation. What little successes have you experienced to get you to where you are right now? You've had winning trades, and you've gotten to a point where you felt confident that you took more risk, that you increased your position size, and you felt like, hey, I got this now. I'm getting ready to move on. And you want to get back to that point. And if you don't have that point, we have got to establish it. Now, in a mentor session today, one of our members gave me a great idea for the new workshop or the new class or whatever you want to call it that's coming up. It's called Trader Rehab. And it's specifically for you guys that just aren't seeing your goal anymore. You have all these obstacles that are in your way that we need to work through, that we need to knock down. All these barriers that we have to remove. And we want to do that in Trader Rehab. And we want you to establish that foundation that you can always come back to. And you guys that have that completed and that's rotating out of the roadmap to success, that did it the right way, that didn't quit, that didn't give up and trusted the process, you're reaping the benefits of it. You see that. But a lot of you guys just didn't do it. And it hurts me as a teacher because I feel responsible that you did not do what you were supposed to do. I wasn't good enough a teacher or mentor or whatever to keep you focused and believing in the process. And I told you it wasn't going to be easy. I told you it was going to take some time to give yourself that 6 months. Don't come out the first month thinking you're going to make some money, because it doesn't work that way. It's possible, but it's not likely. So, those guys that stuck to it, they did it. And they have a foundation that if they ever get lost and they suddenly can't see where their end goal is, they can stop and reflect and go back on their successes. They can go back to their foundation and make it through. So if you don't have that foundation, you have to develop that foundation. But it all starts with keeping focus on your goals, not focusing on losing trades. focus on your goal of being consistently profitable, taking better trades, managing your risk, and then growing from there. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. With that said, I do have 2 more seats left, 2 more spots in the roadmap to success. Once it's filled, it's going away. So if you don't see it on the website, don't email me asking about it, because it's gone. And then once I get some more openings, I'll bring it back up. But I think I ended up having 6, and 4 has been filled already, and now we're ready to keep the ball rolling, man. You guys that want to get through and you're having trouble with all of these obstacles in your way, whether it be trading in a small account, not having the capital you need to trade like people say you should trade, you're not consistently profitable, you don't have a foundation, you don't have a go-to strategy that you just have confidence in. That's what the roadmap to success is designed to help you build. But you got to stay on it. You deviate from it, you go off the beaten path, you may not make it back, unfortunately. You don't know what's out there. You may not make it back. But the opportunity is there. I've got a couple more spots, so check that out. Or if you need to email me and ask me a question, let me know. I'll be glad to chat with you. The AJT Market newsletter is the new newsletter that I'm emailing out every Sunday. It's coming in the email form now. It's going to get merged into a digital newsletter. We're going to have articles and stuff on it. But right now, the main thing is to get you guys I want to get you guys the market analysis for the week, the watch list, and the swing trade watch list, and all of that. And the reason why I'm bringing it up now, if you didn't get it this Sunday, email me and let me know, because I may have your pay email versus the email you use every day for chat and other things. So it may be going to the wrong email. So make sure you email me and we can get that fixed. And I will bring it up tomorrow. I just forgot to bring it up today in chat. I'll bring it up tomorrow so that I can get all that fixed this weekend. All right, so the first trade I took that I'm going to go over is the losing trade for the day. And that is Netflix. Now, I did take Netflix for an all-day hold in my big account, my main account. I was going to take it long because it looked like we were starting to grind back up. This candle here pretty much told me we weren't going short, that we were going to grind up. So that's what I went for. But ended up getting stopped out on this big sell-off back down. I know we didn't make a new low relative to this, but I wasn't going to let it run all the way back down here. And I took it off on that account. But here in this account, I was watching this. And we talked about this before I went to lunch. And we were looking for the lower low. It rejected here on the VWAP. And here, I think it just stopped some people out who shorted on this. And once we got under here, I felt comfortable shorting this. And shorting this with 100 shares and picking up, 4 or 5 points, or either 3 or 4 points, I was only risking $1. And you can see it made sense because you can look at the average range of these 6 candles, including this candle, and $1 was perfect. So we started to sell a little bit and kind of hung around. We just couldn't sell off. And once we claimed the 9, I took it off. Technically, this trade was dead. I took it off, and you can see it just kind of worked its way on back up. But I'm not upset about it. This wasn't it wasn't where I made a mistake. It was a trade that just didn't work. And if I saw it again tomorrow, I'll probably take the same setup. Knowing a stock like Netflix that has potential, I could only get 100 shares of this, but I think it was worth the risk. But this was a trade that I took in the middle of these IBM trades. Now, IBM, this was the trade of the day, the month, the summer for me. Any acronym you can give. I made more money on this stock today than I made all month. And that is amazing. But it's the beginning of earnings season. The market's going to be given a lot more opportunity. Just have to be ready to seize it. And I still didn't maximize the full potential of this. I think we ended with 709.89. Did not maximize the full potential of this. I traded 300 share lots and scaled out. So the first one, textbook opening range breakout. This is exactly what we look for. It puts in the 5-minute opening range. We mark the high. Once we break the high, we get in without any thought. No question. We get in on the break and we hit our profit targets. Now, these targets didn't really work out for me. So I had to use the whole and half dollar marks, which are psychological marks, or $quarter marks, depending on the increments, because I wanted to catch this as we were going up. This was going to be the final target up here. But there was a level in here that I didn't see until a little bit later. But I did take profit right around that level, so it all worked out. I didn't see it here, but it was, right near where I took profit. And I took profit here. I still had a little bit left. I just pieced out of this thing because it was moving so good. And I added, after we had to pull back and the bounce, I added over this level here. And I let this spook me out. All because I'm uncomfortable adding. If I was comfortable adding, or if I didn't add, I never would have took this thing off. But I'm not comfortable adding. And it shows. It pulled back so hard that it just freaked me out. I saw the volume building and I'm like, man, we're coming back in. And all this was profit taking up here once it hit the whole dollar mark. Around the whole dollar mark. It was just profit taking. And I should have been able to weather the storm, but I didn't. This is the only mistake I made on this trade. When I went back and did the recap on it, and I did the reflection, I realized what I was feeling here. I was feeling anxiety as this was coming back, and I'm thinking, every time I add, it always stops me out. Every time I add, it always stops me out. And that was just resonating in my mind, and then we got this big sell-off candle, and then that was it. But look, had I held on, would have been a nice trade. And instead of me, and this would have kept me out of Netflix. If I had still been in this, I never would have traded Netflix. I never would have took that $106 loss. So the improvements I need to make is going to be centered around staying focused and not going around chasing things, trying to be greedy. If a stock is paying you like this, you stick to it and you squeeze all the blood out of that turnip. So I missed this move here, but I got this second move. After I got out of Netflix, I was able to jump in IBM, and it was setting up, so we were able to take it back up. I was looking for this to, coming out of lunch, just continue to grind up. 150 50 was the ultimate goal. It did eclipse 150, but not by much, and then we pulled back. I ended up having to stop out here, but all in all, I caught the meat of the trade. So $709.89, trading 300 share lots. Then you just can't beat it. You cannot beat it. And I love it when a plan like this comes together. This is when the market is good, you're going to see trades like this. Not all of them are going to be this good. Not all of them are going to pay as much, but it'll be enough to make money and to sustain us through this summer. So that was IBM. SKX, this was our earnings trade. This one set up beautifully. We were looking for this to gap up, and it sold off going into the close just like we like it, and that's exactly what we got. And then we got the big gap up. So I was able to catch some up here near 40, got it at 39.90, and it came all the way back, and I tried to wait, but I had to leave and cut. I had to go cook dinner. I couldn't sit here and watch this any longer, and I ended up taking it off here. We had the nice move here while we, during the conference call, but then this candle started to sell back, and I had to leave anyway, so I went ahead and killed it. But a really nice trade on this. Now, the reason why I took profit here early was I wanted to take profit on the break of the 52-week high. This was a 52-week high. On the break, I wanted to take profit because I had no idea whether this was going to go up a little bit, and then people who were starting to sell, who were long, that were going to take profit on the 52-week high break. I didn't know if this was going to slam the stock back down or what. So the goal was to take profit on the first hit here. And this thing ran up so fast that I didn't even get 37 or 38. This thing ran right on up, and I was able to get 39.90, right around 40. And 40 was, 41.50 was the final target on this, but pretty insane move. But this is not a strategy that if you can't trade, if you can't be profitable trading basic strategies intraday, the worst thing you can do is come out here and think you can trade earnings, because it's not. It will look like a gamble to you because you have no clue of what you're doing, or understand what makes a stock gap up and what makes a stock gap down. It's not whether it beats earnings or not. That's why you see stocks that beat earnings tank. You see stocks that miss on earnings per share gap up. It's more to it. It's more that we're looking for, and that gives us the indication of where it's likely to gap up or gap down. And that's what we talk about every day, and you guys know what pattern to look for going into close. That kind of solidifies what's most likely to happen. Is it 100%? No. You've seen me take a loss on this, I guess, twice in the last month. So it's not perfect. But it does, you are right 70, 80% of the time if you follow the rules. So really nice earnings trade. So coming back today, ending the day 1095.08. And this is a small account. I don't have, you know, I start with $5,000 at the beginning every month and grow it from there. So it can be done. You have to develop the right mindset. You have to develop the right mindset. You've got to develop the right mental skills in order to be a successful trader. It's not about following this person or that person, or following the person that posts the most money. That's not going to do it. If you don't learn the psychology, or if you don't develop your mental game, it don't matter who you follow. You won't be able to trade your way out of a cardboard box. So just keep that in mind. All right, so that's going to do it for me today. I think I've talked enough, and we'll get back at this thing tomorrow, and we'll see how we end up for the week. So take care, and I will see you in the morning.